In studying women, at first I thought that, and for good reason, because it is kind of complicated. I thought that maybe women reach a certain age and they mature. That was how I was leaning toward. I understood all the possibilities and all, the scenarios of why women are the way they are. I even ruled out fucking, the pagan perspective carefully at that. This idea of, well, we're in a new astrological age and all this bullshit. The bottom line is, I respect what women used to be. Okay? I don't respect women now. I think the story of the Garden of Eden is pretty much the long-term story of women. They started off as men's helper, men's friend, men's companion, man's lover, man's, fairly loyal wife. Then at some point they betrayed man. Women used to be something that you could respect. You're not doing your ancestors any favors by respecting the modern day woman. It's like saying, you know what? Our ancestors were just a bunch of dumb cave women, the female ones, obviously. And fucking, women now are respectable. That's what it's like saying. And it's the opposite. Our ancestors had a certain respect for themselves. First, they were very natural, very in touch with nature, spiritual people. And then they became an enlightened spiritual people for the most part, who that respected themselves and dressed a certain way and carried themselves with grace, not with cockiness and false pride and with a pompous swagger, but with actual, spirituality and dignity. They were dignified, maybe even honorable. But now, in the last 30 or 40 years especially, as technology really intensified, after World War II and so on, when technology really started speeding up and we're getting all these nice computers and cell phones and all this stuff, the information age kicking off out of control, really starting to reach its peak and beyond. It's starting to expand rapidly, exponentially increased technology and, new computers coming out doing, and so on and so forth. The material world had more to offer materialistic people. Materialism, illness having people. Spiritual illness. And women became one of two categories almost entirely. And it's very rare that you see an exception to the rule. And most of the time when you think you do, you get to know that person, you find out, well, they're just another one. There's a lot of times, it's like when we meet somebody, we kind of go into a state of denial. This person makes me feel this certain way. I'll give them a chance. Maybe I'm wrong about them and so on and so forth. But, if you think something bad of a woman, you're usually right about it. So they fall in these two categories. Either they're a gold digger or they're desperate. That is how it is. It's very sad. It's very sad. It's so sad that, I don't really hear the term gold digger that much anymore. When I was younger, I heard that a lot. I heard it from some women, half the time those women saying about, oh, she's a gold digger, this and that. And this feminism just really destroyed women. Just women became morally bankrupt collectively. It became where, they don't even say that anymore. It's because it's like they want each other to be gold diggers. Shopping just intensified. There was more stores, there was more materialistic things, there was more, designers, people started becoming more famous than they were before, and so on and so forth. And before you knew it, you just had this extremely materialistic, shallow, just evil culture, and women no longer being respectable is a byproduct of that. And they're going to sit there and they're going to say that, I hate women. No, I respect good people and I absolutely just am disgusted by, evil people. So when I think about, what society denied me, women, secret societies, psychology, you know, spiritual bottom feeders, all these scumbags, society, all these people especially, they denied me love, romantic love. You know, not just by gang stalking me. Gang stalking me was like the nail in the coffin. You know, where what little chance I had of finding love was just completely destroyed by a bunch of complete trash who were trying to get me to settle the whole time for fat bitches and fucking and so on and so forth. And even trying to make me a faggot. You know, just complete scum. You know, I'm going to tell you how sick these people are. They thought that they could drug me, sexually assault me, blackmail me with that and say, well, you may as well be gay now and, you know, we'll take care of you and so on and so forth. Just complete sickos, you know. I mean, I knew homosexuals were sickos. When I saw that they were disproportionately gang stalkers and just complete trash, and I was forced to see what I've always known. I've always known that homosexuality was a part of Satanism, you know. I didn't appreciate how widespread it was until the last maybe 10 years or so. And I was just wow, and especially the last 5 years or so, just wow. You know, just queer, Satanist, atheist trash everywhere, you know, especially in Northern California. And so, you know, going back to women, okay, society denied me this love. And I'm supposed to, and women, you know, respect me. Like, I'm supposed to respect a bunch of complete shallow whores that denied me love, that conform to the evils, that are the more conformist sex. You know, the bunch of emotional, evil fucking whores that will never concede my logical points because they're fucking evil. You know, you should see what happens. Whenever I'm talking to these females, every debate I've ever had in a female, it's very predictable. First, their emotions kick in and the brainwashing kicks in. And as I'm deprogramming them with one logical point, as I'm feeling them out and understanding how they see it and helping them realize what is the truth, they become very sad, very depressed. You know? I've even seen it with Satanists. Even the most immoral, evil of women, they're kind of like sad. They're like, he's right, and I'm a bad person who's in denial. You know, that kind of thing. They don't say that, but, you know, that's what ends up happening. You know? Especially when I start pointing out how selfish it is for them to be that way. And they start feeling very small. You know? And it's fucking sad. And the most programmed of them, of course, are not going to show much signs of that. You know, they're very evil. They're going to be very bitchy. You know? I come across this Tinder profile today, this one female. She said, I'm a feminist, and I don't want to hear your, I forgot, she was like wacka-doodle-doo, you know, anti-feminist views. I was just like, wow, somebody drank the Kool-Aid and chugged it. Like, give me another glass, just, you know. I was like, wow. You know, you really don't get it, do you, lady? Either you are very evil and you do get it, or have a huge complex and you don't get it. Well, either way, you have a complex. You have the evil, psycho, selfish bitch complex, or you have this kind of selfish, emotional, me complex, you know, mixed with a touch of a victim complex. You know, women are victims of society like everyone else is, and in a specific way, specific to them and how they see things and so on and so forth, but not in the way that they want to see. You know, it's like, yes, there is a need for a women's rights movement, a movement to empower women, but what we have is just disgusting. We need a powerful Christian or Muslim movement to empower women, to make them dress with respect and to be spiritual and so on and so forth. Let me tell you about spirit. I'm gonna wrap this up right here. I don't want to make this much more than it is now. I don't want to cut this off before 10 minutes. So, the only spiritual philosophies I see, and I'll debate anybody on this anytime. This is a key point right here of the video. You know, at the last second, I'm throwing in another key point. Only spirituality I see, the true spirituality, is Islam and Christianity for women. I mean, not for women, excuse me, for anybody, especially African Americans, anybody though, because the other systems are either incomplete or they're shallow pagan nonsense, which, you know, are more complete than some other philosophies, such as New Age philosophies or other pagan philosophies that have been lost in time, mythology, and so on and so forth. You know, so what ends up happening is people are filling in the blank themselves. They have no idea what they're talking about. That's the thing about trying to do something, trying to be spiritual yourself without listening to prophets who have truly been blessed with divine insight and truly have things had things revealed to them by God. You know, you're gonna have a lot of people who pretend that they have. You know, the only complete religions and spiritual philosophies are Christianity and Islam. You know, I truly thought this over time and time again before I came to that conclusion. These religions are what's best for society. They're best for individual groups. You could say, well, you know, Hispanic people, or you know, you could pick any group, and it's best for them. You know, and it's very sad that people don't understand this. They're very complete systems of spirituality that make you a very great person. You shine. I've never seen any people shine as much as I've seen devout Christians and devout Muslim women and men shine. You know, especially since we're talking about women here. I've never seen any women come close to being as good as a Muslim woman who's good or a Christian woman is good. Nothing anywhere near that. It's like women who aren't Muslims or Christian women, it's like they have this dark cloud. And I'm very in touch with energy. I'm the top martial artist in America. I'm very in touch with people's energies. And I see a bunch of dark clouds, a bunch of gray, indifferent clouds and different energies. And then I see these shining, you know, energies of the devout people, you know. And so what ends up happening with them, though, is that there's also a level of confusion. Most of these Christian and Muslim women I've seen are younger in another country, you know, who are devout and who have this glow, or they're older, and, you know, it goes back to how, you know, they grew up in a time where they weren't so much corrupted by materialism, you know. And so it doesn't really change the fact that women, American women especially, fall into two categories. They're desperate or they're gold diggers. And I'm going to end by saying this. I know I went over the time I wanted to stop it at. The ones who are desperate, some of them are desperate because they're unattractive. Some of them are attractive and they're from some poor nation and they're desperate just to survive. You know, so it's like they're desperate because for one reason or another, you know, they're impoverished, they're fat, you know, they're fucking, you know, I don't know, mentally retarded, whatever the case may be, okay? Or they're desperate, excuse me, or they're gold diggers, you know? And it's just like, wow, this is how it is. It is impossible for a man my age and younger, okay, in my personal opinion, you know, and again, this is one of the few times I'm going to give you my opinion. In my opinion, and not based on facts and research and me putting things together, but just my observations, you know, empirical evidence, my assessment, you know, I think it is impossible for someone my age and younger who's a man, to find love as it was meant to be, you know. And I blame, you know, and that's one of the reasons I hate these people, you know. I think it's a damn shame. You've broken down the family structures. You've destroyed love. You've tried to redefine. You're trying to redefine things that cannot be redefined. Honor cannot be redefined. Love cannot be redefined. You can't one day wake up and say, I can love a goat, and the same way a man can love a woman. I can love a child the same way I can love a man. You can't redefine love, you sick fucking people. You can't redefine honor. You can lie about it. You can brainwash people, but you can never truly do it. I'm going to end it there.